Project 2025, here's the bottom line. Project 2025 calls for, quote, breaking up and downsizing, end quote, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, which it calls a primary component of, quote, the climate change alarm industry. Now tell me Project 2025 wasn't bought and paid for by the fossil fuel industry, right? The agency's climate research, Project 2025 says, is, quote, harmful to future U.S. prosperity. NOAA, by the way, it houses the National Weather Service, which provides forecasts and analysis on hurricanes and other extreme weather events. And the playbook would also, so, you know, what they want to do is privatize this. So you have private for-profit corporations. So, we'll still be able to get our weather. You'll just have to pay a subscription to get the weather. Or you'll have to watch ads before you can get the weather. And, you know, maybe if they think that describing the weather to you in a way that's particularly useful isn't profitable, you might not get it at all. They also want to do radically reimagine the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, ending the flood insurance program. Now, FEMA is the #1 provider of flood insurance in the United States. And, you know, what are you going to do with that? Right? I mean, we've got millions of people in the path of, who were in the path of Hurricane Helene, are now in the path of this new hurricane that's on its way. Was it Hurricane Marvin? Or? Milton. Milton, thank you. And it's like, if people can't get flood insurance, they just get wiped out. And, you know, I get it that billionaires wrote Project 2025, or people who work for billionaires, and billionaires don't care about flood insurance because they've got billions. You know, if their you know, waterfront mansion in Florida gets wiped out, they can just build a new one or buy a new one or move to, you know, a chalet, or move to their chalet in Switzerland in the Alps. But this is a real problem. On top of this, right now, the Federal Emergency Management Agency is running out of money. So, you know, Congress needs to convene and appropriate more money for FEMA, but right now, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, says, no, I'm not going to call Congress back into session until after the election. It'll be at least a month from now. Well, FEMA is being wiped out. I mean, you know, this, as Joe Biden pointed this out, there's Secretary Mayorkas, you know, who's in charge of this stuff. He says FEMA's disaster fund could run out of money next month, leaving it unable to pay for rebuilding public buildings, roads, and facilities such as water treatment plants. The flood insurance program, which covers nearly 2 million people in the areas hit by Helene and Milton, is going to run out of money to pay claims. The Small Business Administration, quote, will run out of funding in a few weeks, end quote, to provide homeowners and businesses low-interest disaster loans for repair and rebuilding. This is, Joe Biden wrote a letter to Congress last Friday saying this. But Mike Johnson says, you know, if we can make people pissed off at the response to this storm, they will funnel their ire at the Biden-Harris administration, and they won't vote for Kamala Harris. So we're going to withhold the money. We're not going to let Congress even meet to pass this money for at least a month from now. This is crazy.